Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I want to talk to you about 4 tips to help you break unwanted habits that cause you to have a lack of joy in your life so that you can embrace new habits and have the desires of your heart. Please hit the like and subscribe button and stay until the end because my last tip is really the tip that has been such a shifter in my life, and I continue to use all of these, but especially that particular tip. I have so much fun with it, so I want you to tune in for that. All right, so let's get started because this is really about manifesting when it really comes down to it. How do we create the life we want? How do we manifest in our own life? We have to be intentional in order for that to happen because we are always manifesting in our life something, but when we're coming from places of hurt and pain, then more than likely what we're bringing about in our life is based off of those same energies that we're holding. If we're holding pain and hurt and regret and shame and all these emotions that really don't do us any real benefit, we can still manifest that. So we're talking about manifesting the desires of our heart. So let's talk about our first tip. So initially, what I would want to tell you is focusing on your desire for change, focusing on your desire to create new habits. And the reason that this is important is we can always know that we're doing things that we don't want to do. We can definitely have an awareness that we are functioning in a way or we have habits that are not really giving us what we want. And it's important to have that awareness because you can definitely be in a different state where you're not even paying attention to what it is you even desire in the first place. So to have that awareness that you have habits that you know are bringing about outcomes in your life that you don't want is very key to then recognizing and defining and stating that I am desiring something different from that. I am desiring to have habits that actually bring me what I want. So the first tip is to recognize that you have this desire in the first place. Because as cliche as it may sound, awareness really is key to being able to say, now that I'm aware of this, I want to bring my mind to what it is that I truly do desire. So number 2 is integrating these new habits that you want to have into your life. So that would first be knowing that there are so many different new habits that you can have. And it could be a habit of meditating. It could be a habit of journaling. It could be a habit of getting you some exercise. So initially it's not going to be a habit. It's going to be this new activity that you're introducing into your world that's going to require some consistency until it becomes more of a second nature type of thing that you do. And I'll give an example for myself. One of the habits that I didn't like that I had some years back is coming home in the evening, watching TV, dozing off on the couch, overeating, because all of that seems to go hand in hand with me. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to feel better. I wasn't feeling good. And so one of the things I did after I changed my diet, because this was of personal importance to me, is I had changed my diet. And the way I changed my diet required me to learn new recipes. It wasn't the way I was used to cooking or preparing food. And so one of the habits I had was finding a chef because I had transitioned to more of a plant-based diet. So I found different chefs that I liked on YouTube. I would find a meal that they made that looked really interesting to me. And so my evening then started to consist of going to the store, grabbing these ingredients for this recipe, and then being in my kitchen, cooking those meals, and also really looking at what I enjoy listening to, things that would really inspire me. Before, when I had those poor habits, I was really listening to a lot of fear-based, a lot of violent things, and it really did contribute to how I felt in my spirit, how I felt emotionally, and the things I thought about. So when I started eating these new meals that I was creating and indulging into these new recipes that I really felt it was fun to do, when I would also do that, I would have a podcast or some type of YouTube channel that really spoke on matters that were important to me and that were intriguing to me. Some things were new to me. But all of that really opens up my whole world, my thought process, my heart, my spirit. And I really began to enjoy engaging in that in my evenings. I didn't even watch TV anymore. It became not a desire for me. And what I really desired were things that really would build me up and give me momentum to move forward in my life in a direction that I wanted. And I know for a fact that what we put ourselves around and focus on, what we hear, consume in all the ways, really does impact, how we're going to move in life. And it did in such a deep way. The things that I listened to really opened me up to new thought, new perspectives, so much joy and possibilities that took me out of that little box of what I saw as fear and, just the bad things that happen in the world. Because that's also what I tuned into when I was coming from practicing poor habits, is I watched a lot of murder investigations, which I loved. And I'm not going to say that they don't intrigue me some, but I have to, steer away from those for myself. I choose to, because I know that when I focus in on that, how it shifts how I feel in my spirit. And I want to feel a certain way in my spirit. And so I had to create different habits that would impact that. And so that's a shift that I made that I still do today. And it's been so beneficial. I just feel like the world continues to unfold for me because I'm always engaging in things that I really open my heart and expand my way of thinking, challenge my ways of thinking, and keep me in a sense of awe. So that is my tip number 2. When you are looking to incorporate these new habits, thinking about the optimal time of the day that's going to be more likely that you would do these things is going to be important. My evenings were a time where I was able to have more time to do what I wanted to incorporate. So at this particular point in my life, when I brought about these changes, the timing in the evening was perfect for me. But you will want to look at this for yourself. What time of the day, whatever the habit is, the new thing that you're incorporating into your life, what time of day are you more than likely to do this and stay consistent doing it? So an example of this could be, would you do it in the morning time when you first wake up before your day gets started? Is that a time of the day that whatever this new habit that you would want to cultivate and create, is that a time where you think you would be able to be consistent with it, that is more doable because there are not as many distractions around? And that same option could be in the evening after certain things you've done in the day. Are you the type of person who gets in bed and you have a level of control of when you get in bed? So then when you're in bed, you can choose the habits that you do, or your evening, is it a time that you can are more than likely to engage in the habits that you want to start cultivating? You basically want to have the time in the day to be consistent. It could be in the midday, it could be on a lunch break. It's a time of day that you would feel more than likely you're going to be able to make these new shifts in your life because you're able to practice them and stay consistent. So optimal timing is for the win. And last but certainly not least, my favorite tip that has really been so impactful. I love all these tips, but this tip I love playing with, and it is visualization of what it is that you would desire. So visualizing what it would be like when you are practicing these new approaches as now healthy habits. How is your life looking based on you practicing that? What does it look like? And really being descriptive. How are you feeling when you are incorporating these new habits into your life? What is it bringing about different in your life? So how is your life now looking? How does that feel? Who's in your life that you think of when you make these playful visualizing moments in your mind? Who's present with you? What are you all doing? What are you talking about? What does it feel like, the environment that you're in? Like being very descriptive with it, because one of the things that quantum physics talks about is the ability to understand, not so much the ability, but knowing that there are so many possibilities, endless possibilities in our life, or that we can choose from, that we can choose to focus on. One of the things that tends to happen is when we're experiencing things in our life that we don't like, then we focus on what's right in front of us, what is in the physical. We focus on the physical. But when we go into our mind of imagination, we have so many possibilities. And what quantum physics really talks about is of those possibilities, whatever we focus on, it's like there are all these possibilities. Let's say there are thousands. And what we focus on is what drops down into our experience, and it becomes what we experience. So if has truth to it, why not focus on what it is that you would truly desire? And a good way to focus on that is to incorporate how it would feel and being very specific and descriptive in your mind on what that all looks like. What is the conversation that's happening that really speaks to that desired experience? What's a conversation that you can think of in your mind that goes along with what you're imagining? Bringing all of these factors into your imagining potential, and doing this consistently, having fun with it, not doing it because you have to do it, but doing it because it's fun and it's an opportunity to break away. If anything, at the least, initially, it can break you away from experiences that maybe you do not want to have right now, and have an experience in your mind that is really what you would want. Did you know that the body does not know the difference when we're imagining something in our mind and getting an emotion from it, as opposed to if we're actually experiencing it? This is why we have so much stress, or cortisol, the stress hormone, released into our body, impacting our health, when we're simply in our thoughts of fear and stress and worry. That is us imagining, but we're imagining maybe the worst case scenarios, or scenarios that have been hurtful in the past, or scenarios that we do not want to see come into fruition. Our body doesn't know that we're thinking of something in the past, that we're thinking of something in the future, that we're thinking of something that hasn't occurred. Our body doesn't know, but our body is going to still produce the hormones, because when we think about these things that we don't want, that are hurtful, we automatically connect the emotion to it. Emotions of pain, of suffering, of sadness, of anger. We connect automatically to that. And we do this more so second nature. It is a habit that so many of us have. And it could be because in some situations we may have been brought up in environments that promote fear, or have pain. So we are intentionally flipping that and saying, I am going to, in my mind of imagination, think of things and imagine things and play with things that would bring me joy, even if I've never experienced that thing before. I am going to create it in my mind now. I am going to emotionally connect to it, and I am going to have good time with it. And when we do that, our body also doesn't know the difference, and our body releases more positive hormones, more of the happy chemicals that really produce relaxation and joy and love and connection that we can experience just from going into the space of our mind and creating it there. Everything that is created starts in our mind, and that is our life experiences as well. So that is what I want to share with you today. I have a 21-day meditation series that is something I would like to offer that can bring about really good habits that can help you. The thing that I love about this meditation series is that it's fun. You get engaged and you can really have a good time doing it. It is something that can really touch on your heart and bring you experiences of love and joy and connection and relativity to others and the world and yourself. And it is also something that's evidence-based. Research has shown that meditation has a way of helping to rewire our brains, so to speak, and to be able to create new ways that our brain function. And it's also safe. It's structured and it's safe. It's a new meditation every day for 21 days that really help you to get inner balance. And that is the name of the meditation. Inner Balance 21-Day Meditation Series. So I invite you to check that out. I'll have the link in the description. And I also want you to let me know, of these tips that I shared with you, which one do you feel really speaks to you more, that you think you would be more apt to try initially? That is what I'm leaving with you today. I am Crystal Turner. Again, I ask that you share this video, subscribe to this channel, and like this video if you feel that it's brought you some form of enlightenment. And I will see you on the next video. My name is Crystal Turner. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner who has gone holistic because I know to be whole is to be healed. I'll see you next week. Bye.